Okay, this scene hit me pretty hard today. World's richest man in the Oval Office, and the newly elected President of the United States sitting quite quietly as he holds forth without any evidence about the what he described as, enormous fraud that his team, the Doge team, is uncovering throughout the bureaucracy of the United States. He describes the bureaucracy as an enormous unelected apparatus over, controlling our lives. I find myself boggled by the lack of insight it takes for that dude to point that out. And then, I don't want to. I'm trying not to. I don't want to armchair correspondent here because I'm not in this room. I don't get to ask these questions, and I think that the people who do get to ask questions of this guy today, are doing the very best they can under incredibly trying circumstances. But if I were in that room and he had said what he had said about, for instance, this, trying to be maximally transparent, and that this is, that they're trying to be as open as they can, you would have to immediately say, but Mr. Musk, your agency has been operating in unprecedented secrecy, and because no one has gone through any sort of congressional review or approval, none of them are beholden to any of the kind of security clearance checks that we would require of people in their position, not least you, who aren't even making your financial disclosures available. Then, he also talked about, at one point a reporter did ask him, whether there was conflict of interest in his being a regulator, a regulator of regulators, in that he'll be cutting back on the bureaucracy of agencies that oversee his company. And he said, for instance, NASA and ones like it. And he said, people at SpaceX do that kind of thing, defense contracts. And the New York Times rightly points out he's the founder of SpaceX. And you would have to, in that meeting, say, are you saying that you no longer have a financial stake in SpaceX? Just over and over again, right? We're not put in enough of a position to ask this guy, what is your problem? What is going on? How can you claim that there is this stuff happening without any evidence? Do you believe that the American people elected you to step into this role? No, President Trump asked me to do so. Do you feel any responsibility to Congress, which actually creates and manages the budgets of the agencies that you are now seeking to destroy? Those sorts of things. Also, and I write about this at the Rip Current, theripcurrent.com if you want to check it out. This is a guy who, comes from the move fast and break things era. And he said in this gathering, I'm not going to be correct all the time. And, if I do something incorrect, I will pull back. But you can read, and I'm talking about all week, you can't take it back when you have slashed USAID funding to the tune of 300 babies born with HIV, in a day, or the cutting off of aid to Gaza, which is going to totally destroy the peace process. This guy is also not exactly helping there, but the incredible, there's no do-overs in this kind of policy. Anyway, very hard to watch this. World's richest man, new president sitting quietly. This is a historic image. This is a weird and historic image, and don't normalize this. This is very weird, and it's important that we keep it strange in our minds, because calluses are going to form. Otherwise, you're going to get used to this. Don't get used to this. This is very, very unusual.